Shai Bashem Rakakodash. Welcome to another live lesson. The name of this one, let's try that again. The first day of the rest of your life until. I put a number 2 on this one because I had already had this title and I'm not sure if they won't allow me to use it because it's already been used. So I just put a number 2 just in case. Now, as I said in the prior lesson before I got rudely interrupted, you know that this lesson was inspired through the spirit by a video I was watching the Elder Pastor do of these 2 young women, Israelite women, and what they did. But it's not based off of that. It's just based off of something he said in the video dealing with these devils Esau having to pay. And that's what, brought about the title, The First Day of the Rest of Your Life Until. And what that means is once the society goes down, once Yahushua comes back, takes his rightful place on the throne, elevates us with him, to the throne, Lord's will, those of us that are part of the elect, this is going to begin the beginning of Esau and the other nations' new life. And that new life is going to be them waking up in the kingdom of heaven as slaves. And that's what they're going to have to deal with. So that's what it means, the first day of the rest of your life until. So they're going to have to deal with it day 1, year 1, year 2, year 3, all the way up to 1,000 years. And especially these devils, these Edomites. Because there's no way in hell that they're going to be able to get away with all of the shit that they've done over the years and just skate off into the sunset free. Now all of a sudden, here it is, 2021, the year of the hastening of the coming of the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Here it is, you just accept Jesus and then you skate off into the sunset and all that other shit is gone out the window. The lynchings, the rapes, the robberies, the thefts, the murders, the slavery, the stealing of the lands, the total immoral behavior and the wicked shit that you've done, and having our people selling out to you and all that. There's no way you're gonna get away with that. There's no way you're gonna get away with that. So what I want to start off with, as I was reading before, is the book of Isaiah 34 and verse 8. And when you read up above that, in the 5th and the 6th verse, it speaks about Idumea, which is the Greek way of saying Edom. Now the Edomites, which today are the so-called white people, especially those that are, the so-called higher elite among the elite banking families, and other Edomites, Amaleks, the 1948ers, whatever you want to call them, they're all Edomites. And this is the person that's in power. And this is why when we read futuristic scriptures, of prophecy dealing with the future, one of the main characters that's identified are the Edomites, whether you call them the Edomites, Idumean, Mount Seir, or whatever the case may be. All right. So the Lord said in Isaiah 34 and 8, for it is the day of the Lord's vengeance, because the Lord is going to bring vengeance, contrary to popular belief. Come on now. This is ridiculous now. Contrary to popular belief, the Most High is going to take vengeance. And these are the same people that say that the Heavenly Father, vengeance belongs to him. But then when you tell them he's going to bring vengeance upon people, they're going to say, no, God is all love. They speak it in circles. All right. I can see this is not going to be an easy lesson to get through, but it is what it is. You're going to have the smooth sailing lessons, and they're going to have the bumpy road lessons. But either way, still got to roll on and hold on. All right. So it says, for it is the day of the Lord's vengeance and the year of recompense for the controversy of Zion. So in the collapse of this society, there's going to be all type of turmoil going on, uproars of the people, famines, pestilences, different things happening, earthquakes, storms, cyclones, whatever the case may be, that the Lord is going to bring upon this place for judgment. And there's going to come a point where you're going to have something called World War III, or the War of Armageddon. And after, or in the midst of that, you're going to have these top ruling class families among all nations, especially Edomites, that are going to be hiding in shelters. And when they go to hide in these shelters, that's going to be, you know, the place where they're going to be gathered from to be brought into the first day of the rest of their life, until, because judgment is coming. There's no way that you can escape this judgment that's coming for the things that you've done to the people of the Lord. The Lord said, touch not the apple of his eye. This is the year of the recompense or the vengeance for the controversy of Zion. So we read in Revelation 6, right? In verse 12, it says, and I beheld when he had opened the sixth seal, which we're in the sixth seal now, going into the ending of the sixth seal, which is the beginning of the seventh seal, is the destruction. All right? Matter of fact, let's get that real quick to bring that point out. Let's go to the book of Job. Let's go to the book of Job, the 5th chapter, and let's go straight to the point. And 19, he shall deliver thee in 6 troubles, yea, in 7 there shall no evil touch thee. Because once the 7th trumpet blows, I ain't gonna say nothing else, inside joke, but once that 7th trumpet blows, that means completion. Because the number 7 just simply means completion. That's why you have many different references to the number 7, 7,000, you know, 700, you know, things of that nature. 7 women shall take hold of 1 man. The number 7 just simply means completion. The Lord created the heavens and the earth in 6 days, and the 7th day he rested. So the 7th day represents a complete number, or a completion of something. So when that 7th trumpet blows, that is the completion of the world empires of Esau and these other nations, and then the beginning of the new millennium, inside joke, of Yahweh's kingdom / the Israelites' kingdom. So, picking up from the time of, in the midst of World War III, this is what's going to be happening. Revelation 6 and 12, and I beheld when he had opened the 6th seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake. So what is this great earthquake all about? This great earthquake is going to be when the missiles start hitting the earth is going to be rocking to and fro, which we're going to get that precept also, like a drunkard, you know, from the impact of these missiles that's going to be hitting. Remember, the scriptures say what? 200 million missiles. That's not talking about actual ICBM missiles. There's 200 million ICBM missiles going. No, the power of the missile is in the tail, which is the propelling of the missile, and the head, which are the warheads. So those warheads, you have multiple warheads per missile. So those 200 million missiles are multiple warheads that are going to be pelting down upon the soils of America, the soil of America, and they'll be hitting other places of the world also, you know, and that's going to cause a motion which is going to make the earth rock to and fro, just like when you when there's an earthquake and you feel the earth moving and you feel the building shaking and cups and glasses and plates falling off the wall, you know, tables being turned over, you know, TVs falling over. Well, that event is going to rock the whole earth. It's going to be like a great earthquake that rocks the whole earth. It says, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood. Why? Because of the smoke and the burning that's going to be coming up off of this place. So there's going to be, if you're in certain places, you won't be able to see the sun or the moon because of this great cloud of black smoke that's going to be coming up from everything that's going to be melting in this place. As the scriptures say, the elements shall melt with fervent heat. And that's going to cause a great plume, fancy word, a great cloud of dark smoke, pitch, you know, that real thick smoke. It says, and the stars of heaven fell unto the earth, which are the missiles actually falling onto the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs. Yeah, so that's going to be the missiles coming down like a fig tree arching off of a tree and falling down and hitting its target. Because remember, the scriptures say that the Most High Spirit is going to be in those missiles. So when they're shot, the Spirit of the Lord is going to take over. His hand is going to guide those missiles exactly where he wants them to hit. So it's going to be a strategic, surgical strike. It says, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs when she is shaken of a mighty wind. So this whole place is going to get rocked by this wind, this storm. And this storm or this tempest or this great earthquake is going to be the destruction of these missiles. Let's go real quick to Jeremiah 51:1. Thus saith the Lord, behold, I will raise up against Babylon and against them that dwell in the land, in the midst of them that rise up against me, a destroying wind. Remember, when we read in 2 Ezra 13, where Yahushua, when he comes back, he's going to let these lasers fly out of the chariot and out of the different chariots, on top of the missiles that are going to be pelting down. He said, I am come to send fire on earth, and what will I if it be already kindled? So that wind is a representation of this destruction that's coming. All right? So I think that was it on that. All right, so now let's go back to Revelation 6. It says, when she is shaken of a mighty wind, and the heaven departed as a scroll. That's what they call a so-called mushroom cloud. So when a missile hits, the force that it hits and the upsurge of that blast is almost like a vortex, and it causes, when you see that cloud go up of this destruction, it forces things to turn. So when the prophets seen the destruction, they described it as the heavens being rolled together as a scroll, with the way you roll a scroll together. And when you look at those so-called mushroom clouds, that's what they look like. They look like rolled up scrolls. And that's why they described it in that fashion, because they're not going to say, oh, well, you know, that was a mushroom cloud, you know, and the smoke of the missile, when it hit and the smoke went up, it looked like a mushroom. No, because they didn't have mushroom cloud as a term back then, right? It says, and the heavens departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their place. Meaning, you know, actual governments, but you are going to actually also have certain mountains and hills, because all of America is going to be flattened. So all of these different mountains in America, the Appalachian and whatever other mountains are here, you know, different hills, they're all going to be taken out. Certain islands are going to sink, you know, because this is going to be a great devastation. So it says, and the kings of the earth, meaning all of the elite families of Esau, of, you know, the Saudis, you know, the Ishmael, Moab, Ammon, Ham, all of the so-called dignitaries and top officials of Esau, you know, that are high up. It says, and the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men. See, the rich men. It says, and the chief captains, meaning your military, and the mighty men, certain military men. All right, be gone, Satan. And every bondman, even slaves, because you got to remember, when these devils, when the smoke clears, these devils are going to try to go make everything go back to business as usual. So they're going to need servants. They're going to need cooks. They're going to need people, janitors. They're going to need, you know, different people to run their next empire, because they're thinking that once the smoke clears, they'll have the world in their hand, and they're going to be able to begin to build it the way they want to build it. But it's not going to happen. It says, and every freeman hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains, which is what? These retreats, these so-called what's the word I'm looking for? Shelters, so-called bomb shelters, right? It says, and said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, because they're called what? Bomb shelters. So they're going to run into these shelters because they know that when the Lord comes back and this destruction comes, they know that it's the judgment of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai coming upon the earth. That's why I said they're going to say to them stones and all that, hide us from him that sitteth on the throne and from the wrath of the Lamb. It says, for the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? And that's why it says in other precepts in Revelation that when all this goes down, these devils are not going to repent of their thefts, of their murders, of their worshiping of idols, of everything that they've done on the earth, because they're going to continue on and keep doing what they've been doing. You have to remember, they are programmed to be evil robots. Just like you got certain jakes out there that are programmed to be gremlins. Gremlins. Yeah, I said it gremlin. I didn't say gremlins. I said gremlins. That's a combination of gremlin and goblins. You have some jakes out there that are hardwired to be evil, to be wicked. Same thing with Esau and the other nations. They are set that way. Remember, the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart. The Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart to fulfill the Most High's will. So these devils are hardened in their mind. They're not going to change. They're not going to stop. They're going to keep going. They're going to keep pushing and pushing and pushing till they achieve what they want to achieve. And the thing is that pushing of this agenda is what's going to bring their demise. And they know it to a certain degree, but in the back of their mind, it's like, now we got to keep going because the Lord got the spirit on them to keep pushing forward. So as diligent as the Lord has made us on the right hand is as diligent as the Lord made Esau on the left hand. And this is a great fight between good and evil until the Lord comes back and puts a smackdown on Esau and the other nations and sets everything back up into proper order. And then the new heaven and the new earth will be established, meaning run under righteousness, under a righteous rule. It's going to be this is going to be the real great reset when the Lord pushes that button. Hit the button. Inside joke. All right, so let's go from there to the book of Isaiah, chapter 24. And oh, wow. You know what? I'm going to start here. This is the book of Isaiah 24 and 16. You can read the whole chapter. The whole chapter is good. It says, from the uttermost part of the earth have we heard songs. And where are we at? We're in the uttermost part of the earth. The furthest you can go. We're in the ends of the earth. The uttermost. The uttermost parts. It says here, wing. Because what do you have? You have a bird. The wings are what? The outermost part of the bird. So we're in the wings, you know, on the outskirts, so to speak, of the uttermost part of the earth. All right. It says, from the uttermost part of the earth have we heard songs. And what are these songs? These songs are songs of deliverance, the new song. All right. Even glory to the righteous. But because this message is who? To the righteous. Who are the righteous? The Israelites. That's who the gospel or the good news is for, the Israelites. It says, but I said, my leanness, woe unto me. The treacherous dealers have dealt treacherously. That's Esau. Yea, the treacherous dealers have dealt very treacherously. And they have dealt very treacherously. And the scriptures say that when they cease to do treacherously, they shall be dealt with treacherously. When they cease to spoil, they shall be spoiled. You know, you reap what you sow, man. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. So this is what we're patiently waiting for, your demonic ass to go down so that the Lord can raise us up and we could exact vengeance on you. There's going to be payback, whether you choose or whether you refuse. It says, fear and the pit and the snare are upon thee, O inhabitants of the earth. And that's dealing with mainly you Edomites and you other nations. 2/3 of Israel too, and wherever the Israelites are that are going to be judged. But the main people that are the holders of the key of this world today are you Edomites. This is why even your so-called scholars agree that Esau's still around, that the Edomites are still around, that when the Lord comes back, he's coming to fight against Esau. David Guzik found that out. So it says, and it shall come to pass that he who fleeth from the noise of the fear shall fall into the pit. And this is dealing with, like we read in the book of Amos, the 5th chapter, you know, if a man did flee from a bear and he leaned on the wall and the serpent bit him, so on and so forth. So it doesn't matter what they do. It doesn't matter how they do it. It doesn't matter where they run to. It doesn't matter where they flee to. It doesn't matter what enchantments or whatever they bring out. It doesn't matter what spells or incantations they push out there. It doesn't matter what technology the Lord gives them. Nothing is going to be able to deliver them from the wrath that's coming. Nothing is going to be able to deliver them from their judgment, which ultimately those top banking families, you know, among Esau and the other nations, they're going to be carted right into slavery first. That's why, as the name of the lesson is, let's see if the first day of the rest of your life until. All right. It says, and he cometh up out of the midst of the pit. I'm sorry. And he that cometh up out of the midst of the pit shall be taken in the snare. Yeah. Because there's going to be something that's going to come out and get you. You're not going to be able to escape, bottom line. It says, for the windows from on high are open. Right. And what are the windows from on high? Those are those missiles that are going to be pelting down, along with the lasers from the chariots. So let's say because you have all different types of bomb shelters here on the soils of America. Anywhere where there's a shelter, a bomb shelter on the soils of America, that's going to be the grave of those people that is in there. There's not going to be any inhabitants left after the destruction here in America. Babylon the Great will be totally wasted without an inhabitant. You know? It says, and the foundations of the earth do shake. Yeah, because the earth is going to rock to and fro. It's going to say that. The earth is utterly broken down. And you broke it down, and the Lord is going to tear it apart. The only reason why it's not going to totally explode is because the Lord is going to have the angels holding it together, because the earth abideth forever. You know, because of the words of the Most High, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. It said the earth is clean dissolved. The earth is moved exceedingly. So there's going to be a great reset upon earth, and this place is going to be totally wiped out. But the earth itself is going to be intact, because as the scriptures say in Ecclesiastes the 1st chapter, the earth abideth forever. It said the earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard. So what is going to make the earth reel to and fro like a drunkard? That's when the missiles hit, it's going to cause that vibration and that motion. You know, like we made the analogy of an earthquake. And even a volcano, when a volcano erupts, you know, it's almost like an earthquake, but the earthquake comes out with hot lava. So when these missiles start hitting the earth, it's going to cause that motion and that vibration. It's going to rock back and forth, and it's going to be violent, very violent. It said, that's what the scripture say. Thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all, and shall be removed like a cottage, and the transgression thereof shall be heavy upon it. So in other words, transgression is sin upon sin upon sin upon sin, iniquity upon iniquity upon iniquity upon iniquity. So when the judgment comes, all of the wickedness that has been done, it's just going to cause more and more destruction to come upon it. You know? So they're not going to be able to put it off, because there's not going to be any expiation. There's not going to be any forgiveness. It's going to be totally destroyed. It says, and it shall fall and not rise again, meaning that the rulership of these nations is going to fall and not rise again. You can read about that Daniel the 2nd chapter, Daniel the 7th chapter. You know, those are the two main prophetic chapters dealing with these different empires ruling. And there's going to come a point where they're going to be totally wiped out, destroyed. It says, and it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall punish the hosts of the high ones that are on high. Yeah, because there's going to be a payment, a payback to the so-called elite. There's going to be a judgment upon them. Remember, we read about the controversy of Zion. What is the controversy of Zion? The Lord is upset with these nations for touching the apple of his eyes. Touch not my anointed and do my prophets no harm. So there's going to be a time of judgment. That's why it says in Isaiah, let's go to Isaiah 26 real quick, and before we read on, and 21, for behold, the Lord cometh out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth for their iniquity. Go back in time, when the Lord said that he saw that the wickedness of man was great upon earth, and he repented the Lord that he had made man. And then he said he was going to destroy man and every living thing from off the face of the earth because of the transgressions that were upon it. And this is what we're witnessing right now. Although we get upset when we see, this whole anti-Messiah spirit on the planet and all of the different wickedness that's going on, it must needs be in order for the Lord to judge it. See, we get upset because we're looking for the new heavens and the new earth where dwelleth righteousness. But all of these things must happen in order for the Lord to bring in the end, the destruction. It says, the earth also shall disclose her blood and shall no more cover her slain. So when this place goes up in flames, dealing with America, just dealing with America alone, all of the blood of the saints is going to be exacted. That vengeance is going to be exacted upon this place. Remember, those Edomites that had Jake in captivity and slavery, that were lynching them and all doing all type of manner of wickedness, they're here today. They're going to be judged. And this is going to be the beginning of their sentencing, is the destruction. And then all of the blood, because we're on land now. You don't know how many Gadites they've slayed here on this land here, that they made a park out of it. You don't know how many Gadites they might have slayed here, or how many Judites might have been on this land here, either walking or working. You don't know how many Israelites' blood has been shed on this land. So the Lord got the solution. He's going to bring that fire to cleanse it, because when you shed blood, that blood cannot be cleansed but by the blood of him that shed it. Remember, when Yahushua comes back, he's coming back. He said, who is this dipped with the vesture dipped in blood? He's coming to slay the blood and avenge the blood of his saints. He's coming to slay the blood of the guilty, Esau, the other nations, and also to avenge the blood of his saints. All right. Now let's go back to Isaiah 24. And 21, and it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall punish the hosts of the high ones that are on high, and the kings of the earth upon the earth, because the main judgment is coming upon the rulers of these nations. The other peoples of the nations, they're going to be in captivity, but the main beef the Most High got is with these other heathens at the top. The so-called the creme de creme, or however the hell that term goes. And that's who the Lord got the main beef with. Now the other nations, the so-called common folk among them, they're still going to be slaves. But the ones that's going to get it even harder, the most, are the top elite, because they know what's going on and they're causing this misery to go on. I keep thinking every once in a while I got to do research, find out what's going on out there in DR Congo, with that situation where they found gold on this particular mountain. I'm curious to know what Esau's doing and how he's has he already moved in on that? Is he plotting and scheming on how to get that land so they can steal that gold? I'm curious to find out what's going on with that whole situation, because they're not talking about it in the news anymore. They mentioned it briefly You know, I'm not sure if it was an actual video. It might have been a video or an article. And now you don't hear nothing about it anymore. I'm curious to find out what's going on with that whole situation. So these top elite banking families of the earth, beginning with Esau, Amalek, and the rest of the nations, they're going to be the ones that's going to be judged the harshest. It says, and they shall be gathered together as prisoners are gathered in the pit. So after the smoke clears, the first day of the rest of your life, the first day of the rest of your life, until that's going to be the first day of the rest of your life. You're going to be gathered out of those pits where you go to hide. You're going to be all disheveled. You're going to be all fucked up because you're going to get beat down. You're going to get shackles slapped upon you, manacles, yokes of iron. You're going to look pitiful. The clothing that you have on is going to be all torn and ripped. You're going to be all bruised up. You're going to be lumped up. You're going to have missing limbs, missing ears. Your nose might be gone. Part of your nose might only have one eye left. One of your eyelashes will be seared off, Salakia. Whoo! Hey, it's good to say that. Thou shalt meditate terror. It says, and they shall be gathered together as prisoners are gathered in the pit. Let's see, 8. That's verse 22. Just bear with me 1 second. Or it says, with the gathering of prisoners or dungeon. See? And those dungeons are what? That's those different bomb shelters where you're at. Because that's pretty much what it is. A dungeon is what? An underground thing. It says, and they shall be gathered together as prisoners are gathered in the pit, and shall be shut up in the prison, and after many days shall they be visited. Yeah, because you're going to have to receive for you got to receive your judgment, man. See, we're in the sentencing stage right now. The Lord is about to bring the final judgment, and then after that, then you begin your time. It says, then the moon shall be confounded, and the sun ashamed, when the Lord of hosts shall reign in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem, and before the ancients gloriously. Yeah, because the Lord is going to set us back up into power. He's going to give us that shine, but even greater than when we had back then. And all of the wisdom and knowledge and understanding of these other nations is going to go down. Jake is going to be ashamed, for following after all these different philosophies and so-called gods and religions that they thought would benefit their life. All of that's going to be put down. The Lord alone in that day shall be glorified and exalted. The whole earth is going to be filled with the wisdom and knowledge and understanding of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Oh yeah. Now let's go from there to Psalms, the 149th chapter. These are chapters that these devils don't like, but we're gonna get it. But before we get that, let's get Revelation. Excuse me. Nice, basic scripture, basic fundamental building block scripture. Nevertheless, very impactful. Revelation 13:9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. So you done fucked up, Esau, when you put your hands on the people of the Lord. You done fucked up. You should have did everything else but that. But it was already set up for you to do that anyway. So there's nothing you could have done to get out of it anyway. Let me get this other precept that came to mind. And then we get to Psalms. We get to the icing on top and the cherry on top. With the sprinkles and everything, because it's going to be nice and sweet. It ain't going to be sweet for you nations. Zechariah 1:15. And I am very sore displeased with the heathen that are at ease. And like brother said, that rhymes. For I was but a little displeased. And they helped forward the affliction. So you helped forward the affliction, man. You made it worse. I mean, you had no mercy. You had no pity. You showed no remorse. You just knew that that was your right. It's my right. It's Diego's night, bitches. Excuse me, Salaki, brothers. I'm wilding out over here, but it's the truth. You had no discipline, no self-control. You know, fucked up, Esau. Isaiah 47:6. I was wroth with my people. I have polluted mine inheritance. This is the Lord speaking to you, Babylonians, you modern day Babylonians, you Edomites. I was wroth with my people. I have polluted mine inheritance. How? By letting you get your demonic, grubby, nasty hands on us. And boy, you didn't show no mercy. Oh, you didn't show no mercy. Oh, you didn't show no mercy. But like the bitch you are, you're going to be crying and begging for mercy. And that's going to make it even worse for you. So you might as well just suck it up. Because you start crying for mercy, boy, woo! It's going to be on like Donkey Kong shit. Salaki, brothers, you know. I was wroth with my people. I have polluted mine inheritance and given them into thine hand. Why are we in your hands? Because the Lord gave us into your hands. Thou didst show them no mercy. Upon the ancient hast thou very heavily laid thy yoke. So you didn't show no mercy. So you didn't show no mercy. What are you to expect? You think that you don't show no mercy, but you're gonna get mercy? Are you insane? Are you out of your mind? Have you lost your natural mind? James 2:13. For he shall have judgment without mercy that have shown no mercy, and mercy rejoiceth against judgment. So you didn't have no mercy. So you have nothing. Your judgment is not going to have any form of leniency. There was another precept that came to mind. Hopefully the Lord bring it back. Well, this wasn't the one, but this is another one that came to mind, so that's cool. If it comes back, I'll bring it out. But Jeremiah 49:12. For thus saith the Lord, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have assuredly drunken. And now thou, he that shall altogether go unpunished, thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it. So that's it for you, man. Sucks to be you, Esau. Okay, so let's go to Lamentation 4:21. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom. Yeah, because you done had your fill, you done had your fun in the sun. Well, you can't be in the sun because because leprosy. But you done had your fun under the sun. It says, and that dwelleth in the land of Uz, the cup also shall pass through unto thee. Meaning that cup of slavery. Whatever you meted out on the earth is going to come back on you. Thou shalt be drunken and shalt make thyself naked. Because boy, are you going to pay. You're going to you're going to drink every last drop. You're going to gulp it down. Every last drop, man. Let me get this other precept. Hold that. Because that, Lord's will, we can end with this precept here. Let's see if I could find it. Okay. It says, the punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. So you Israelites out there, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, and wherever you may be at, our punishment is accomplished. We just got to go through this time of Jacob's trouble before the Lord can, set us back up into power. He will no more carry thee away He will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins. So that's it for you, man. You could close the book, close the chapter. Man, what's coming for you is going to be horrific. You're going to get, You're going to get the worst ass whooping that ever has been in the history of man. Hey, that's a title right there. The worst ass whooping that has ever been known in the history of man. You thought we caught hell. Boy, your fucking suffering is going to be legendary. Exodus 21:16. And he that stealeth a man, which you did, and selleth him, which you did, or if he be found in his hand, which were found in your hand still, he shall surely be put to death. There's no playing around with that. There's no getting around that. There's no sidestepping it. The precept just came back to mind. Nahum 1:3. The Lord is slow to anger and great in power, and will not at all acquit the wicked. So you will not be acquitted, man. You will be held responsible. You will pay to the ultimate last drop and letter of the law. There's going to be a severe punishment executed upon you and your kind, you Edomites. You other nations too, you know, but you Edomites are the top of the list. And the term was la creme de la creme. That's what it was. Psalms 149:1. Praise ye the Lord, sing unto the Lord a new song, and praise in the congregation of saints. So who are the saints? The Israelites. I got to get ready to roll out. Let Israel rejoice in him that made him. Let the children of Zion be joyful in their king. Let them praise his name in the dance, which Esau can't dance. Let them sing praises unto him with the timbrel and harp, because Jacob is a musical people. For the Lord taketh pleasure in his people. He will beautify the meek with salvation, because we're on the come up, and the Lord's going to set us back up. It says, let the saints be joyful in glory. What is the glory? The kingdom of heaven. Who are the saints? The Israelites. Let them sing aloud upon their beds, because no longer are we going to have to be like, oh man, hit that snooze button, or fuck, I got to go to work, or shit, I'm late for work, you know? There ain't going to be no work in the kingdom of heaven for the Israelites. But for you other nations, boy, you're going to be working. It says, let the high praises of the Most High be in their mouth, which is the knowledge, this truth, and a two-edged sword in their hand. A two-edged sword is a killing instrument. For what purpose? To execute vengeance upon the heathen. So you got to pay, man. And punishments upon the people. For what you've done, it's going to be done unto you. To bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron. Because you're going to be chained up. You're going to have shackles, manacles, yokes of iron upon your neck. It's going to be a constant ass whooping for 1,000 years. So the first day of your ass whooping, it'd be the first day of the rest of your life until. To execute upon them the judgment written. So it's written. So let it be written, so let it be done. It's written, so it's going to happen. This is going to actually happen, and these devils know that, but they're programmed to be demons and to do what they're doing. It says, to execute upon them the judgment written, this honor have all his saints. Praise ye the Lord, Barakatah Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, for allowing us in the future to get vengeance and exact vengeance upon our enemies. Now, the last precept I'm going to leave you with is the until part. Because until this part, we were going into the first day of the rest of your life, which is going to be the punishment that you're going to have to deal with. Now we're going to deal with the until part. Obadiah 1:15. It says, for the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. So you're going to pay. For as you have drunk upon my holy mountain, which are the Israelites, so shall all the heathen drink what? Continually. 1,000 years is a long time, man. Yea, they shall drink and they shall swallow down. So there's gonna be nothing that you could do to get out of this predicament, out of this judgment. And they shall be as though they had not been. What does that mean? They shall be as though they had not been. Meaning you're going to be a people, you're going to be around, but you're going to be slaves. You're going to be nobodies. Just like in this society, we're nobodies. We're the offscouring. We know we're the proverbs and the bywords. And niggas speak, spook, wetback, tonto, you know, beaner, or whatever other names they call us. To them, we're just entertainment or the help. It says, but upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance. Yeah, because the Israelites, all Israel shall be saved in the kingdom of heaven. And there shall be holiness. And the house of Jacob shall possess their possession. So we're going to get everything that you own. Your lands, your riches, which is really our riches. But then after that 1,000 years, you know, you other nations will receive your lands back. You know, you'll be able to, you know, govern among yourselves. But you're going to have to still be tributary to us. And you're still going to have to follow the laws, statutes, and commandments that the Lord gave to us. And the house of Jacob, this is the until part. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame. So the Israelites are going to be a flame, a torch. For what? And the house of Esau, which are the Edomites, every last one of you, the tabernacles of Edom, for stubble. So you're going to be the kindling wood for this fire. So after, let's see, the first day of the rest of your life will be captivity and slavery hardcore for 1,000 years until that very last day. And in that very last day, the whole nation of Israel is going to take you Edomites and set you ablaze. All of you, every last one of you. And they shall kindle in them. You're going to be the kindling wood. You like to lynch us and burn us and, you know, and do all kind of manner of wicked shit that you've done to the so-called Latin tribes, the so-called Native American Indian tribes, to the so-called Negro tribes. You like to do all manner of wickedness. Well, guess what? Now it's going to come upon you. And this is going to be the final destination for you Edomites. That's a lesson right there. The final destination for you Edomites. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai have spoken it. There ain't gonna be no stragglers of Edomites. The scripture said the Lord's gonna get rid of your whole root. Every last one of you devils, man, wherever you might be. That's it. After that 1,000-year period, you're going to be burnt up. And there will never, ever, ever in the history be another nation called Edom upon the planet Earth. The only time you're going to be able to read about Edom or know anything about Edom is when you read the scriptures. You know, so with that, this has been the first day of the rest of your life. Until, with that, I pray that your brothers have been edified. Until the next time I say shalom. It was a little bumpy at first. But Barakatah Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, we bust right through it, you know, and beautiful. So I pray that your brothers have been edified. Till the next time I say shalom.